All right, here we go. Hey, folks, thanks for joining me tonight. I'm really excited about sharing with you some of the products that we have really been really good and have become a very important part of our life with the using of doTERRA essential oils. Uh, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Angelo, and we've been using essential oils here in this house for several years, and we've been getting some really good results. We've become very passionate about using them and also about educating others how to use them. So let me ask you this. Is it safe to say that our current healthcare system could use a little bit of work, maybe, right? Um, what we're going to talk about tonight are the tools that we have in our own home that now gives us a chance to empower us and take care of ourselves. So let me ask you this a little bit more seriously: is where are you in your current healthcare? Are you overwhelmed with maybe having to take time off work or time off school, or are there co-pays involved? If all of those are concerns, then the next question I would have is, are you open to learning some other ideas insofar as um, other alternatives when it comes to taking care of you and your family? So I'm going to do that tonight with a little bit of a slideshow. So now I'm going to have to share my screen with you guys. And what I'm using, what I'm going off of, is the Natural Solutions handout. You can find this on Natural Solutions on their website. But this pretty much is the things that I want to talk with you guys about tonight, if it works. There we go. Jackie, give me a head nod. Are you able to see that slideshow? Okay, so good. Got the screen share now. So let's talk about, first off, about empowering you within your own home. And something I wasn't aware of several years ago is that I had a choice, and I didn't know that. What we currently have is, if you look on the left, the modern day approach is kind of like, it's basically man-made. It's designed to manage the symptoms. It just really addresses the symptoms. And there's some side effects that can happen when we take these medications. And the goal here isn't to totally replace medications, but it's the hope that we get to lessen your dependency on medications. That's what one of the things that they had mentioned at convention this year was that it's not replacing healthcare, it's using it in conjunction with. Um, and when you look on the flip side of that, the natural approach, this is nature made, and it addresses the body's needs and those root causes. That's what's one of the big differences is. And there's usually safe benefits that go without having any of the side effects. So, if you guys here have experienced essential oils, and one of my favorite ones is wild orange. I'll take that and open that up and just inhale it. Just take a deep breath and just feel how, and it just lightens my mood up a little bit. What I have found is that it's basically the 80-20 approach when it comes to using the essential oils. 80% of the time, the things I have going on in this house, we can take care of by using some essential oils and some other products. 20% of the time, we're going to need the emergency department there, or we're going to need the physicians there, because there are times where we're going to need them. So, but when I can control 80% of that right here in my own household, that gives me a better feeling, and I'm better able to take care of myself and Elena, for that matter. So as we look at this, we kind of think about, what is healthcare costing you right now concerning the co-pays and concerning lost days at work? Well, one of the things that we have learned as early on when we initially started this is how safe and effective the essential oils are. Now, if you look at that picture in the left-hand side there at the top, that is a peppermint leaf, and on the underside of that leaf, there is an oil sac. So I don't know if you guys have ever gone through a field or picked a peppermint plant, picked it up and then kind of rubbed it between your fingers and smelt that deep, just that minty peppermint smell. That's the essential oil. That's exactly what we're getting from the bottles that we have from doTERRA. And these are natural aromatic compounds, and we extract them either steam distilled or cold pressed. Usually, if it's a citrus oil of that type, it's a cold press. Most everything else is going to be steam distilled, and it contains hundreds of different compounds that have a lot of variety and different ways to use them and different ways to combat threats throughout, and by keeping our resistance built up. One of the things that I love the most about the essential oils is some of them, not all of them, some of them have the ability to penetrate the cell, the blood-brain barrier, or penetrate into the cell. We get a bacterial infection and we get medications. When we get a virus infection, what's the doctor tell us to do? We have to go home, take rest, drink plenty of fluids, and just kind of let time go by. Well, the essential oils have the ability to penetrate that cell-brain, that barrier, and it can get that virus out. So it can actually help us start feeling better a little bit faster. And they work with the body to address the issues that are happening at the root of the cause, really down at the cellular level. They're very affordable, pennies to the dose, but they're very effective and very potent as well. As you can see, takes 28 cups of peppermint tea that equals 1 drop of peppermint oil. This is why a little bit goes a long way. You just have to use 1 or 2 drops. Matter of fact, I had some peppermint in my water earlier today. I put 1 drop in there. I'm on my 3rd or 4th glass, and I'm still tasting the peppermint in there. So you don't need a lot. I'm going to jump over to the right-hand side there now and talk about how doTERRA is 100% pure. When you look at the different grades of the quality of oils, you get anything from synthetics to food grade, therapeutic grade, and then what doTERRA calls their certified pure therapeutic grade. And they are the most tested and most trusted essential oil that's out there. They have a total of 54 different tests that are run on every batch of oils to ensure that they're not adulterated with anything and that they are 100% pure. I think one of the coolest things they came out with this year at convention was one of the taglines they're using now is "Pursue what's pure." So that tells us that purity of the essential oil is doTERRA's first and foremost thing, and they're going to ensure that they're not going to break the integrity of that. All of their oils will continue to be of the highest grade because of the standards that they have set, and that's why they get to call it certified pure therapeutic grade, because no other oil company has the standards that doTERRA has. So let's talk a few of the different ways that we can use these oils, right? First, we could use them aromatically, and we can do that through a diffuser. We can even do that through putting the oils on ourselves, right? Our bodies generate heat and give off heat. So if you were to put some oil like on the back of your neck or something, and you can walk around, you become basically a human diffuser. And, I've been in groups of conversations before, and people will turn around and go, "Hey, who smells really good?" Excuse me. So it's nice to have, to be able to do that. And when you use it aromatically, it can open your airways. It can help boost your mood. and it really does help freshen the air. We're coming into cold and flu season now. Now is the time we definitely want to use these oils aromatically to keep that air clean, to keep our immune system boosted, so we don't get sick. You can see the picture there refers to peppermint. Peppermint is a widely used oil. It's helped to cool the body. It actually helps you stay awake and stay alert. It's one of the reasons why I have peppermint in my water in the afternoon. It's kind of like my 5-hour energy drink. It just kind of wakes me up a little bit. If I have some head tension, it helps relieve that. If I'm feeling congested, it helps open those airways for me. And if I have some kind of intestinal distress going on, then I can also rub it on my belly, and it helps kind of calm those intestines down. But mostly, it's really good for opening up those airways. Topically is another way to use that, and you're going to apply it basically where you want the comfort. If you're feeling pain or joint discomfort, you may apply it right to that area. One of the most common areas to apply essential oils topically is the bottom of the feet. One of the reasons is it's the largest pores on our body, so it's going to be absorbed in pretty quick. I usually put some on the bottom of my feet every morning before I head out the door. I give it about 30 seconds before I put my socks and shoes on, and then I'm good to go. I don't know if you guys saw the picture on Facebook today, but we have a lot of things that we have to finish up and finalize for our upcoming event, our Day of Spoils. So I'm back doing the Blue Tansy challenge that we had done back in August. So blue tansy on the big toe, and I'll be doing that all week. One of the oils that's highlighted here is the Deep Blue for that. Deep Blue is really good for the muscles. It's great for a pre and a post-workout type of thing. And if you're have been just doing a lot of heavy lifting, if you've been out doing a lot of yard work and you're feeling a little stiff, this is a great oil to apply to the muscles to help kind of loosen them up. My sister-in-law started running 5K races. Now, she was in her mid-30s when she started doing this. And she talked about her legs being a little stiff the day after the race. So I gave her some Deep Blue to try. And she started using it after the races. And she came back to me and she said, does this stuff really, really work? I said, well, do a little test for me. I said, put Deep Blue on one calf before you go to bed, but not the other, and see what happens see what it feels like when you wake up in the morning. Well, she called me the next day and she goes, yeah, the Deep Blue worked. Definitely felt much less stiffness and soreness on the leg that she did apply it. So that made her a believer right there. You do want to be careful with the Deep Blue though, whether it's the rub or the oil. With the peppermint being in there, I made the mistake of using it immediately after taking a shower. Now my pores were wide open at this point because it was a nice hot shower. And then when I applied the Deep Blue, that peppermint just drives those oils right down deep into the tissue. And it was actually starting to kind of burn a little bit. So I had to get some fractionated coconut oil and kind of dilute it a little bit. So just be cognizant of that. And if you are working up a sweat, wait till you cool down a little bit before you actually put the Deep Blue on. The third way that we use them is internally. Now, whenever I talk about using an oil internally, I'm only talking about doTERRA essential oil because of the testing qualities and the standards that they have. I can't speak for any other oil. When we talk about taking them internally, like I said, I had peppermint in my glass of water earlier today. We can put a drop underneath our tongue. We can put them every morning. I make up a veggie capsule of the different oils that I want to use that day to help with a variety of things. And that's how I'm going to take them. The oil highlighted with this is, as you see, On Guard. This is a proprietary blend. This is a wonderful oil. It helps boost our immune system, and it really helps cleanse the air as well. This is an oil that I'm going to start using more frequently coming into this season with the cold and flu season, because we use On Guard. We'll diffuse it so the air stays clean. We have cleaning products that we make using On Guard. So we're spraying down our counters and we're cleaning our bathrooms with On Guard. So we're just, and I take it internally every morning. So um, through that course, we keep our immune system boosted, and it really helps. I think it really helps us prevent from getting any kind of serious illness or sickness in those winter months. Now, do I still get a cold? Sure, I still get a cold, but they only last 3 or 4 days max. I've never lost a work day because I've had a cold. Uh, Oils just kind of help expedite the process. And some people, it may take 2 weeks for them to get rid of a cold. As for me and Lane, it's 3, maybe 4 days, and we're back on our feet. And we're good to go. So, extremely happy with the way that the oils work for us. So this is just a quick picture of what your medicine cabinet could look like. This is kind of what our medicine cabinet looks like now. This is not what our medicine cabinet looked like several years ago when we first started, but now what we have in our medicine cabinet is solutions for our home. It's no longer reaching for a medication that we haven't used in a while, and we look and it's an expired medication. So now we got to throw it away and find time to get back out and go buy more. This stuff lasts a long, long time. There is a shelf life on it, but the oils are 5-year shelf life. And I'm finding that within 5 years, I'm using these oils up and purchasing new products. So I haven't had to throw any of my products away because they expired shelf life. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cover each of these shelves, talk about a couple of the different oils. I'm not going to talk about every single one of them. But one of the things I want you to take time for right now, I'm going to give you about a minute, and I want you guys to think about, what are some of your health concerns? What are some of your priorities that you want to take care of? What do you want to feel less, or what do you want to have less of? What do you want to feel more of, or what do you want to have more of? Some of the very common ones people refer to is, I want to have less stress, or I want to have less anxiety. Those are two huge ones. Or they may say, I want to have more energy, or I may want to get better sleep at night. So think about what you would want to address with this. I'll give you about a minute. All right, so let's jump into looking at this first line, this first shelf within the medicine cabinet. The first oil that they're talking about is Breathe Respiratory Blend Oil. This is a proprietary blend. This is fantastic for those change of seasons, or to help clearing those airways. I can tell you, I use this every night in my diffuser with another oil. This helps keep my sinuses open, and I'm actually getting a better sleep because my sinuses are open at night and I have those clearer airways. So this is one that I will continue to use pretty much all year round, because I do have some pretty severe allergies. The next oil I'm going to talk about on there, oil number 2, is Digestive Blend, DigestZen. This is wonderful for your gastrointestinal system. I've had acid reflux for years. I was on a medication for that for many, many years. About 4 years ago, I decided to give the essential oils a chance and really figure out if they were going to work for me or not. So I started using DigestZen in place of my prescription medication, and through some trial and error and trying to figure out what works best, I was able to come off my medication, and I haven't had to go back on it ever since. So that I've been extremely fortunate with. And so anytime I'm feeling kind of that intestinal distress, if I go out to eat and the meal I got didn't agree with me and I got that little rumbling going on in my tummy, I can take a drop or two and put it on my belly, and my digestion system, my intestinal tract will kind of calm down, and I'll start to feel fine. So I don't travel without this. This is one of the ones I definitely travel with. You can apply that to the belly or even on the reflex points within your body. Let's see, what are what some people are really in search of is a little bit less anxiety, a little bit less stress. So which oil do you guys think of when it comes to that? And that's lavender oil, right? Lavender is a wonderful oil that is, we really refer to that as the Swiss Army knife of the essential oils because of the versatility of it. It can do anything to help relax those anxious feelings. It helps us sleep, but it can also help with skin irritation. It helps if you get a mosquito bite and it's itching, you can use that. You can put lavender on over that. If you spent a long day in the sun, you got a little bit of a sunburn, you can spray some lavender on, and it kind of cools that skin down and it calms it down so that that irritation isn't so bad. The other thing I want to mention, though, when it talks about using it for sleep, when we get ready to go to sleep, we have to prepare ourselves for sleep, right? We just can't shut everything down, turn off the TV, and go brush our teeth and jump in bed. We got to give our time. We got to give our bodies time to wind down a little bit. We got to have time for a little bit of quiet, if you could. Turn off the electronics about a half an hour before you go to bed. If you'd like, you could do a little meditation kind of thing, some deep breathing exercises, just to relax the body, to kind of prepare you to get to sleep. Then you can maybe put some lavender or some breathe into your diffuser and start filling the air, and then that will help you. Another thing you can do is put some lavender on the back of your neck or on the bottoms of your feet. I know a couple people that will take lavender and they make them a little spray bottle with like water and lavender. They'll just shake it up a little bit and they'll spray their sheets or their pillowcase before they lay down. So again, they're getting that aroma all night long, and it really helps them get to sleep and stay asleep. So don't forget to kind of prepare yourself to go to sleep. It's not just a matter of getting up, going to brush your teeth, and jumping in the bed, right? Looking at that next shelf on the medicine cabinet, Serenity oil, there, oil number 6. That is another proprietary blend, and it's a wonderful blend that can actually help with that feelings of anxiety or wanting to feel a little bit more relaxed and kind of reduce some of that stress. It lessens those anxious feelings and it kind of calms you down a little bit. It's a little bit more powerful, I think, than the lavender is. I will use Serenity and Breathe every night in my diffuser. The Breathe is going to help my sinuses stay open, and the Serenity is going to help me relax and get to sleep and actually stay asleep. I used to put the Serenity on the bottoms of my feet, but I decided to try diffusing it one day, and it's been great. It's been a good choice for me. So that's my new way of using it. Let's see what else we have over here. Aroma Touch. That is a really good oil for if somebody that you know is having some stiffness or soreness, or they need some kind of massage. This is a wonderful oil to massage into the muscles, and it really helps promote those feelings of relaxation and lessens that tension a lot. This is an oil I will commonly use if I'm doing an Aroma Touch hand technique, little hand massage that I do to folks every once in a while. This is a wonderful oil to massage into the skin. It has helped people that have had arthritis or they're kind of those achy joints. So that's not one I use very often, but it is one I like to have in my bag of tricks. Looking at that last shelf here, this I want to talk about here is frankincense. Frankincense is a powerhouse oil. This can help cellular support with cellular function within the cells. It can help balance your mind, lift your mood, and it's actually good for the nervous system as well. it kind of lessens those feelings of anxiety and stress. What's really cool about frankincense is this is an oil that gives a synergistic effect to the other oils. One of the things I was telling you about is that I use DigestZen for my acid reflux. That was working okay, but it wasn't enough. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what else to try. I was trying it topically. I tried a drop under my tongue. I tried taking a few drops in a capsule, but nothing was really working. It got me through the day, but I'd have to do something a little bit later on in the evening. After doing some research, and somebody kind of came up to me and they said, hey, you should try frankincense in there. So every morning I put 4 drops of DigestZen and 4 drops of frankincense in my capsule. And that makes that, ever since I've been doing that, it's been great. I have very little, if any, intestinal distress throughout the day. If I do, it's usually because of a food I ate that I shouldn't have. But the frankincense will kind of gives that DigestZen that synergistic effect, and it's been extremely helpful for me. Took me a while to figure that out, but we got there. I'm going to jump on to the next one. I want to talk about the Lifelong Vitality Pack real quick. I used to be a non-believer when it came to supplements, because I used to pay big money and really not feel any kind of results from it. So when I saw this Lifelong Vitality Pack from doTERRA, I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And I didn't pay attention to it for the longest time. And then finally somebody got me to try it. And what I realized was that it was starting to give me more energy. I noticed I was able to focus a little bit more. I was able to do things better because I had more energy, so I could go longer in the day. I gave myself a little test though. I was using this for probably a couple of years, and I was feeling good. And somebody said, "How do you know it really works?" And I said, "Well, I'm guessing just because the way I feel." So after we talked a little bit, I said, "All right, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll stop taking the Lifelong Vitality just to see what happens." And within 4 days, I had such severe brain fog. I had no energy. I was tired all the time, and I couldn't function. I felt very lethargic. And then on the 4th day, I got a really bad cold. I said, that's it. I'm not coming off this stuff ever again. So I ramped back up on the LLV and started doing some more oils and got over that illness. Well, about a year or so ago, somebody was asking, do you need to take the full dose? And I said, well, some people yes, some people no. So what I did is I did another experiment. I didn't come off totally. I just started taking half a dose, because with Elaine and I both on the LLV, we were having to get 2 packs a month. And if it's working, I don't have a problem with that. But if I don't need the full dose, if I can get away with half a dose, let's see what will happen. So again, within 3 to 4 days of taking half the dosing, I started feeling very tired. I started having those same exact feelings, not to the same severity, but I knew I was going to start getting sick if I didn't change something up. So I ramped back up to the full dose of the Lifelong Vitality. So now I know that's what I need, is the full dose, and I am not going to stop taking this. The cool thing about the Lifelong Vitality Pack is the 3 things that are in there are very specific and very focused as to where they're going to help the body, right? The Microplex VMZ, that's basically your multivitamins and minerals. The Alpha CRX is your antioxidant, and it gives you that cellular energy, because what it does is it focuses on the mitochondria of the cell. The mitochondria is the powerhouse. That's the energy producer of the cell. So if your mitochondria is producing a large amount of energy like it should, then you're going to have a little bit more longevity, and you're going to be able to go farther and do more during the day. The Z omega, everybody talks about omega-3s, omega-3s, omega-3s. Yes, omega-3s are important. But also just as important are the omega-6s and the omega-9s. Your body continuously tries to keep itself in a homeostasis condition. It's always kind of fluctuating and keeping itself balanced. The body likes balance. It doesn't like extreme highs and it doesn't like extreme lows. The Z omega helps with the omega 3, 6s, and 9s to keep your body balanced. Uh, this is this is huge when it comes to trying to keep your body and keep your body systems balanced, and keeping your immune system boosted so that we don't get sick as often. So the other thing people may say is, well, I eat pretty good, so I don't think I need to take a multi or a supplement of any kind. And even if we have a really good diet, one of the things that's lacking in the foods today is the nutritional benefits that our grandparents used to get in those same foods. We have over-farmed, the soils are depleted, so the plants aren't as nutritious now as they were 20, 30, 40 years ago. So that's a concern. So we need to boost those nutrients within our body. The foods have changed over the years. They've modified a lot of foods. They now have genetically modified, excuse me, they now have genetically modified corn and potatoes and some other apples are another one. So they're genetically modifying these crops so they can produce more, so that they last longer, and they can do all these things. But the problem is our bodies haven't changed in thousands of years. Our bodies, our insides are still the same. So we may have a hard time processing those genetically modified foods. The other benefit from taking a supplement is the oils that you're using, they're not going into an empty house, right? We're fortifying our body with more nutrients, more minerals, more vitamins. And now when we use the oils, they're able to do even a better job because they're not going into an empty house. I hope that kind of makes sense to you guys. So I am going to talk a little bit more about this on the Day of Spoils coming up here this Saturday. If I also do an entire class where we talk about nothing but LLV, if this is something that you are interested in, let me know, and I will gladly give you more information about this. If you are currently taking a supplement of some sort, I would challenge you to compare the two to see what you're currently taking against what the Lifelong Vitality has to offer. And if you're not taking a supplement at all, definitely I would have you take a look at this. And one of the best parts about this product is that there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you try it for 2-3 weeks and you realize, nope, I don't like it, it's not doing what I think it should do, you can go ahead and send it back and get your money back. Of all the people I've heavily talked into trying the Lifelong Vitality Pack, there's only been one individual in the past 4 years that it didn't work for them. They had to send it back. But there were some other things going on that we weren't able to address at that time. So otherwise, everyone else that I have recommended this to, they have all had some really, really good success with this. One of the hardest things to do when it comes to using the oils, using the supplements, is doing something on a regular daily habits. Forming new habits is hard. We get it. Studies have been done, and it takes 21 days to do something before it becomes a habit. So that can be one of the biggest challenges. Is I know when I first got the oils here in our home, they sat on the counter for 2-3 months before we even cracked the lid open. So trying to come up with a daily habit and be consistent with that can be kind of challenging sometimes. A friend of mine, Angel, she's a paramedic on an ambulance company that I used to work with. And she finally got around to getting the Lifelong Vitality because she realized she needed them as part of her routine, but she couldn't get them worked into her routine where she would take both doses on each day consistently. And she would go weeks, just, I took 1 dose today, I took 2 doses the other day, and then I went a day without any doses. Her problem was she didn't have a way to getting it into her routine, because she had long distance to travel in the morning and in the evening. She worked 12-hour shifts, so she was pretty much awake and on the road for 16 hours a day. And then she'd run out of the house and forget to bring her supplements with her sometimes. So it was difficult, but eventually she said, okay, I'm going to nail this down. And she found some containers on Amazon that were enabled her to load up her vitamins into the pack, put them in her backpack. So now she carries several days with her at one trip. So when she's out and about and she knows she needs to take her supplements, she now has them with her. So trying to formulate that regular habit can be hard sometimes, but I promise you it is definitely going to be worth it. And you're going to see the benefits of the consistent use of using either the supplements or the oils. The last thing I'm going to talk about here is the loyalty rewards program. For those of us that are using essential oils on a regular basis, and we're finding that we're using more and more and getting benefits from all sorts of different products, we find that we're going to start ordering a little bit every month. And this is the loyalty rewards program. You can do that. It's basically your subscription box for doTERRA, right? It's a customizable monthly order. And as you purchase product, you gain a percentage of your points back into the bank. And when as you build up those points, you can turn around and purchase free product with them. It took me a little while to really get a basic understanding of the importance of this. Once we started doing the lifelong vitality pack every month, and that was a standard order, I was like, wow, this loyalty rewards program is a no-brainer now. This is where I need to stash my points. And you can see you gain a percentage as each quarter goes by. And when we get to that 12th month, we are now at 30%. So 30% of our PV is rolled over into the bank. I can tell you, I just placed an order of, it was $264 worth of products, and I paid $57 for it because I got to bank in, I got to cash in a lot of my points. One of the first times I used my points was when I bought a bottle of frankincense. Frankincense oil is a little bit pricey, and I didn't have the money to spend out of pocket. So as my points slowly increased every month, I watched, and then when I got enough points to get a free bottle of frankincense, that's what I ordered. So I do that a lot now with my expensive oils, is I'll order them using my points, so it's not that big of a hit on my bank account. Now there are some particulars that go with this, right? In order to get those increases, you have to do at least 50 PV or more every month. And if you do 125 PV every month and you process that order before the 15th of the month, you'll get the free product of the month. This month, the free product was clementine. So I don't even know how to use clementine. I got to go look it up. But I now have that oil in my arsenal. So I'm going to learn how to use that and incorporate that into my daily habits, right? So that's what I have for you. What I would encourage you guys to do is reach out, ask questions. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Are you guys able to see my screen anymore?
Yes.
You can still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I got out of the PowerPoint the wrong way. I do it all the time. Anyway, so that's really all I have for you guys tonight. I hope I was able to kind of answer some of the questions you guys may have already had. What questions do you guys have now? Did I generate any new questions for you? Or are you guys something totally off topic? You want to ask about something not related to what we talked about tonight? Deb, it's good seeing you tonight, by the way.
Oh, thanks. It took me a while to figure out how to get on.
I knew you would.
I hadn't downloaded the app.
The program yet.
So I had to do that. And anyway, I wasn't real prepared. Am I the only one on?
No. There's a handful of folks on tonight.
Oh, okay.
So.
I actually had to do the same thing too when I first used the Zoom. I had to, now since I have the Apple iPhone, Apple computer, I was like, okay, you know what? For my Apple computer, I had to download it. I was like, okay, so
yeah,
that's pretty good. It took me a while to be able to download it. I was like, okay.
I know. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it in time. It seemed very slow downloading, but it
That's
worked.
all right. You got here in time.
Okay. Yeah, the first time I just even clicked on the email link.
Yeah. So Peggy or Suzanne, anybody, if you guys have any questions for us? All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.